a good place to be.
Hiring for assembly or hiring over you right now?
There's assemblers, but they're always hiring. Like I say, if you just go on the village and look at the job postings, several, if you want to move, just sign it.
Yeah, I got flash for it already, right?
I worked in one department. I kept signing those for 2 years. There's always something down there.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Just all you gotta do is show up.
This besides today, this the program the other day is total concepts.
Well, that's excusable.
Yeah. All good and
People have been there 35 years, and they always say the secret to lasting that long there, all you gotta do is show up. The reason people get fired is for missing time. Or if you run somebody over with a forklift or something. As long as you don't do that.
that workers has been late constantly and he's still there.
So seems to me you have what it's staying for
Brings back a lot of memories.
whatever. It's that writing into the city.
I do it every day.
Yeah, you drive down there.
Minneapolis.
Yeah, I used to drive through Minneapolis.
Yeah, I'm right down to the Greenville River.
Yeah, I kind of know where that area site is.
Boulevard all the way to there's the Eastern Road, and that falls right there.
Yeah. Not too bad for the roll out cigarettes and smoking in the backyard.
Remember being off the street with somebody else in there. Steady beer on the back of somebody's
He had kind of like Doug's personality. Doug liked to party and all that. Must be a genetic thing, so
had the toe pick in his mouth and then pulled out a
Everybody wanted to pick up those stations from the city. It's the way to do it. Back in the 30s. Yeah.
That was funny because now I've been trying to find out where that's going
Yeah, he was the guy that got the premium.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's a new, I've read a lot about it. It's a new immune system deficiency. I need your body to know that they're free radicals. They take off and you oh yeah. So you got, look, everybody's got possible free radicals. Your body's immune system and your genes are in good shape. Fight it off. And it's like that. He beat the crap out of himself. He didn't get enough rest. He smoked too much. He didn't eat right. And then he started taking chemicals for I mean, he did everything possible to ruin his immune system. Yeah, so that's what I do mainly. Yeah, I mean, you know, watch yourself. He was involved, he smoked, and he was involved with chemicals when he was doing the industrial hydraulic. Right, they take care of themselves. I always sit down in the back there, and I say, we're done. I gotta yeah, you guys gotta watch yourselves. Obviously, the people. Oh, no shit. That's why most of the people that read it as possible for the government subsidies. You're lucky, you know. You're lucky. Pay a price. It messes with your arteries, scarring your hair. You let it drop though. You spend too much time with chemicals working on your damn parts. That's a start.
I haven't smoked for years.
Yeah, I quit smoking. Played with it for a few years. And I said, you know what? Pushing 16 now. I think I better stop. When you get older, your body doesn't repair itself anymore. It took me a couple of tries, but I did it. So yeah, you stop too, so good for you. Get older, your body doesn't repair itself. I cut myself. I grew up working in the woods and cuts the same things on me. So, what do they say, getting a little bit for sisters? Up at the other house, I'm driving my sports car around country roads and shit. I don't want to hear that city anymore. So you don't have to worry about that in that apartment. Oh, that's right. You like rigid friends, yeah. Welcome to the club.
So now it's like I'm floating on a cloud right now. It's so smooth.
Yeah. Did you get a pretty good price on it?
Of course, I spent a few months on
My brother tells me most new rallies classics are 26, 27K. By the time you get them.
I just wanted the basic cheapest.
Pretty big. Try it last somebody else is going to have to deal with it.
I got 500 miles on it, but I brought it back to the dealership. The day I saw you on the price, I dropped it off in the dealership. They agreed to store it for me. I'll go pick it up this spring. Just went on a ride back to Washington State.
Well, that's what you know the trip. Be pretty simple, like,
Yeah, actually,
still, you know, you should have to get some stopovers and motel camping days are over. I used to do that a lot with my brother. Nope, that's over.
sleep in my bed.
You know what?
Starting to get to the point where it's going pretty slow. Yeah, sister's son. Kind of odd that the old dude, he's like 80. He's like 81. He lasted longer than the young dude. Really weird, right?
Oh, yeah?
It's funny that you and I and Leslie all asked that same question. We should have a
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you were, because I got that. I'm like, that's so
Never called him punk? Oh, never called him north. Neither did I. I don't know where he came from. Where was this then? This is our house. Your house. 11,375. I know you pulled Harley's and the swing set still got appended.
Yes. Yep.
Stop by the house. Just a couple of times. I was pretty inventive. Yeah, you have to cut holes to send that little piece of metal so it will get in there. sunset you got in the backyard.
We better not go anywhere.
It's a heavy duty, I would say, close to quarter scale pipe, so it's an industrial schoolyard grade swing set. I just got a hip where they chains up to it, pull engines out. Yeah, I mean, that's not a chasing swing set, that's not a major league solid industrial grade. Hold underneath it. There's trees out on the boulevard that we tried planting a couple of trees and they died. And I'm thinking, I told Julie there's probably engine parts buried underneath the boulevard. Well, the other side trees are over in that one spot in the driveway. Can't get a tree to roll there.
Underneath your asphalt, there's probably a Texas real over there.
Oh, yeah.
My dad used to go up there and just dig a hole in the dirt.
All around the garage.
Yeah. Dig a hole in the dirt and pull it over.
All around after the garage, good.
Yeah.
Right. We're all dirt roads. I think they might have paved it one time.
Yeah, the driveway was loose.
School and then it was dirt. Yeah.
I found somebody over at the school there.
Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, going up to the swing, to the playground.
I think that little hill is there because across the little street, you got the little ranch over there.
Great.
I think they dug that in that hill. There, it's a little hole. And over the years, all those trees just
They re-landscape that place a couple of times. Buses drive by our mailboxes and they should open that thing up. That's the way it used to be.
Back when we were at the school, there didn't have any buses like that there. We just walked to school.
Well, we could access the wall from the school from this side through. Markdale. Yeah. So that's all shut off now. Special yeah, it's crazy. You can't even pull out of our driveway sometimes.
When I started there, it was called Markdale Elementary.
Sort of
In the middle of the meeting, I was going there, so I had a great idea to change the name to sort of her.
Oh, it's terrible. Buses, and you know, watch it before on the road, buses now. Yeah, well, all these kids would just walk across the street. You would too, probably. Oh, yeah. Uphill, hopefully.
So, being a desperate that part's only usually at the summer school, but a gang of somebody chasing you.
Yeah, those were the days.
You better. Targets. Every day we get out of school and go on racing.
All right.
He was a target. We were both targets. That's what it
So
is.
you're up on a gang that you do, playing on the field.
Yeah, actually, we used to live on behind where the United stores and all that stuff was. What's the bar? Usually used to be short.
No, that's a shortcut. So it's cool or something.
Anyway, behind Sue's, we used to live in the houses right behind it. We were babies.
No, you don't, kids are pretty much gone. In the summertime, I'll get together with some of my guys and do a resort. Once in a while. But no, the bar playing days are over. I mean, except for the young, cheap type young local. When it's old farts, when it's over.
Why wasn't that good anyways?
Well, you were good enough to be in both girls for a while. That would kick my butt. You got crazy together and Steve, we could have still won something like that. Nowadays, though, it's tough. Well, that's just it, unless you're playing for a crowd of your peers, if you have to, try to play for millennials or younger, they don't even. What are you playing? So it's no fun. Even though I know three DJs, we have pretty good fun. But you're right, after a while, why am I doing this to myself? Do I really need the money? Just try to find something else. Yeah, things are changing. But you know something? We had a good time. You know something? You didn't have to be a graduated junior. Oh no, you get into a gym.
I had to wonder where he beat up after the show.
Yeah. He was a little over something. Oh, you're not?
I haven't seen you since you were at my house. Tim was available when I was kind of hanging around with him. I think we shared a lot of the same interests. Really old. Dale, remember we got to ride on Well, that's how me and Leslie are like messaging every day. We're both like Facebook junkies. She sends me stuff and I send her stuff. I'm trying to get away from it, but
You got to recognize it. Yeah.
yeah, we're all incognito now.
Yeah. Arlie's grandson. Arlie's grandson. Sorry, I'm Julie's son.
We're related somehow. One way or
Big bed, night riders come out. You got a thermostat problem. That would be a pretty bad issue. You have to press the hand, the engine start to get at it. Yeah. Good. Why you don't like driving up the road? How many miles you got? Oh, hell, it just broke out. What, a G6 or a V8? Motor. Most my cars got flat up in the front of it. V6 is real good. 119. Oh, you haven't put any miles on it. And the good thing is, when you let it sit, the salt doesn't eat it up because it's not enough. So your body will be in better shape from steam. Huh? Oh, yeah, yeah. Wow, yeah. One trick you can do, I don't know if you can do this. What I used to do, what's happening is your thermostat, you get airflow, right? Blood in there. But your temperature gauge is still in cool. So what you can do is you gotta be careful. You gotta put a piece of cardboard, you gotta hang a piece of cardboard between the radiators. It's a trick. You gotta know how much cardboard you hang, how much of the radiator to block. So you get the damn thing to heat up. Wait, so it does get to a normal operating temp? It does. So the thing goes out cold and gets it up halfway. So then you got something wrong with your heater. Something's blocked. Or maybe you got something wrong with, see, they got underneath the car, they got these little vents that open and close depending on what your control is at. Little vents that open and close. You must have something wrong with that. Because if you're getting the normal operating temperature, then it's not thermostat. Something with your controls. Yeah, so apparently the damper doors isn't shutting correctly. It's probably bringing it out of the gas station with people. And those guys can figure it out. They do that stuff. You know, might want to cost you $100. So they gotta get underneath there and pull the covers off and see what the hell's going on. If you're getting operating temperature, then that means your engine and the engine temp is good. So they got a control problem. We can't ride around without heat because if we start getting sleep right now, you should be able to defrost your windshield.
That's why I'm driving a license.
Yeah. So you know that. Yeah, you can't, if you don't have heat, you can't defrost your windshield. Very dangerous. Set up exercise side. They might be able to fix it right away. Go in the equal and figure out what the hell's going on.
So that's probably why return was wrong. It's that was across that's and it was always sports. But particularly, Americans might be experiencing
Well, good afternoon, everybody. If I talk like this, can everybody hear me in the back okay? Okay. Well, my name is Chad Peterson, and I'm one of the pastors at Bethlehem Lutheran Church in St. Cloud, and I'm happy to be with you here today. Thank you for inviting me as we celebrate Norm's life today. And just to give you a sense of what today is all about, we remember that no matter what the circumstances, it's never easy to lose a loved one. Never really easy to lose a family member or a friend, and it's never easy to lose the relationships in our life that mean a great deal to us. And so it's important to acknowledge that and support one another and to celebrate that memory, and that is what we are doing here this afternoon. And this afternoon service, it reflects Norm's wishes, not to make a huge over-the-top kind of deal, but at the same time, acknowledge that we who are still here want to be able to say goodbye, want to be able to celebrate his life, and want to be able to offer prayers for him and for others. And so today's service is a little bit shorter in nature, but yet it offers us time to do just that. And so it consists of a variety of readings and some prayers, and there'll be an opportunity following the service too for family and friends to continue to share his story. And so we begin with a couple readings. The first comes from Psalm 121. And the book of Psalms, it contains prayers and songs and meditations. There's 150 of them gathered together in a collection that includes every aspect and emotion of life. And so this is one that gives us hope from Psalm 121. The psalmist writes this: I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where will my help come? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time on and forevermore. And then another reading from John. John writes this: I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also should love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. And then a final reading from an author called, or named, Khalil Gibran, who's actually a Lebanese-American writer, poet, and philosopher. And he has this piece that is often read at celebration of life services. He writes, if you would indeed behold the spirit of death, open your heart wide unto the body of life. For life and death are one, even as the river and sea are one. In the depth of your hopes and desires lies your silent knowledge of beyond. And like seeds dreaming beneath the snow, your heart dreams of spring. Trust the dreams, for in them is hidden the gate to eternity. For what is it to die but to stand in the wind and to melt into the sun? And what is it to cease breathing but to free the breath from its restless tides, that it may rise and expand and seek God unencumbered? Only when you drink from the river of silence shall you indeed sing. And when you have reached the mountaintop, you shall begin to climb. And when the earth shall claim your limbs, then you shall truly dance. So just a brief reflection for us here. So as I've already mentioned, stories are so incredibly important. and the stories of our loved ones can make huge impact because these stories, they shape us. They help us understand who we are. And when stories are told and retold, the person that we remember continues to shape our life. And that is something that I encourage you to do today, not just today, but into the future, to remember Norm's story, to remember his life. Both the parts that are really, really good, that make you laugh, that make you just have that special feeling, but also the parts that were hard. Because in remembering of the story of our loved ones, they continue to teach us, they continue to live with us, they continue to inspire us long after they are gone. And so as we are gathered here today to say our goodbyes to Norm, to say goodbye to a dad and a friend and a grandpa and a person who is so important in many people's lives, we also remember the story also of a loving God who walks with us just as we are. And so we offer this prayer today for Norm. Gracious God, we give you thanks for Norm's life, for his stories, his passions, the way that he made a difference in the lives of others. We are made for relationships, and when we lose those relationships, it is so hard. Be with Norm's family and friends. Strengthen them as they support one another. Walk with them as they grieve. Give them hope that your love knows no bounds, that nothing in our life can separate us from your mercy, grace, and compassion. Amen. So we offer a commendation for Norm. We commend Norm to the mercy and grace of God. Into your hands, O God, we commend Norm. Receive him into the arms of your grace, love, and mercy. The Lord bless him and keep him. The Lord make his face shine on him with grace and mercy, and the Lord look upon him with favor and give him peace. Amen. Our service will continue as we make our way to the cemetery, as we offer one more prayer before we lay him to rest in the ground. I, again, will continue to encourage you as family and friends to share stories later today when you are together, to share stories later in the week, in the month, in the year, and in this way, we remember him, and you remember him, and how he has touched your life. We do have time. We have about 5 minutes if anybody would like to share a story. Sometimes we open it up for people to share. Is anybody willing to share just a brief story of a way that they've been impacted by Norm? If so, please come forward. If not, we can make our way to the cemetery. It's your decision. Go ahead.
I'm Ryan, most of you probably know me. Most of you probably knew that I grew up as an only child in single parent household raised by my mom and my aunt and Betty. And when I was growing up, I knew him mostly as Del. Some of us knew him as Del. Obviously, some of us knew him as Norm, and others of us knew him as Punk. But I mostly knew him as Del or Punk. But Del was a really important influence in my life when I was growing up. He was really the male influence in my life. So I spent a lot of time with him and his family when we were growing up, and it just moments like riding around in his old red pickup truck with him. If you ever spent any time riding around with Del, you knew that when he was talking to you, a lot of times he'd end when he was standing by going, huh? What do you think about this, Brian, huh? Yeah. What do you think about that football game the other day? Bad game, huh? I remember I used to get so annoyed when he always ended, everything was in, huh? And I felt like I had to respond. And finally, one time I was just thought to myself, okay, if he says again, I'm not going to respond. And it just kept going, huh? And I just realized that that was Del. That was how he talked and whatnot. And just those times riding around with him like that. He was a good guy and great influence on my life.
Another? Seeing none, our service will continue for those who can make it at the cemetery. I was told we will not be processing up there in a car or in a line, I guess. Sometimes we're used to doing that. But we'll simply meet at the Benton County Cemetery if you'd like to join us for a final blessing and prayer.
We will be meeting at the cemetery. We will not be going in a formal procession. What we'd like to do is start with the people in the back of the room. Have you step forward, past the casket, pay your respects, and then step out to your vehicles. If you are going to the cemetery, once you're at your vehicles, we'd like you to turn your headlights on and your flashers so we can identify you as part of the, so you don't need your flasher, but just turn your headlights on so we have an idea of who's going to the cemetery. You are welcome to follow the hearse on the way to the cemetery, but again, we'll be stopping at stop signs and red lights and everything. You're certainly invited just to drive right to the cemetery and wait for us over there. So if we can start with those of you in the back of the room. Everything else is going through, we're going to give you a few moments privacy, and then you want to have everyone keep coming up. If you want to step up, take a little time, take as much time as you want. If we can intercept your cars then, we'll bring the casket out in just a moment. And if you want to follow the hearse, you can, but just